Okay, one more problem. Here we go. This one's kind of tricky. You had one similar to it in your mastery exercises. It's a good problem, but I don't think I saw anything like this in your text. Although I didn't do every problem, but I know you do. Okay, the ACT test allows students to guess on questions. Actually, I made up the ACT part, but let's say they do. Okay. The odds are not in favor of scoring well when guessing. Okay, we're already told the odds are not good if you guess on this test. All right, for multiple choice questions, there's 4 options. Let's call them A, B, C, and D. If you score correctly, you get 4 points. But if you guess and guess incorrectly, let's see, what do? You lose 2 points. So let's say a student has no idea what the answer to a question is, and the student has to make a choice. Do I guess and risk losing a couple points? Or do I guess in hopes that I'm going to gain 4 points? Should the student guess? What's the most likely outcome when the student just takes a wild guess? All right, we're assuming that the student has no idea on the problem. Let's talk about the probability of guessing right and the probability of guessing wrong. First of all, can we say something about these? Well, recall we had 4 possible answers, A, B, and C, A, B, C, and D. If the student knows nothing and the guessing is completely random, by the way, multiple choice questions, if you don't know nothing, guess C. That's the most commonly used answer. Sorry, little sidebar there. Back to our problem. If the student is guessing, what's the probability of guessing right if there's 4 questions? Well, if there's only one right answer and there's 4 possibilities, the probability is 1/4 that the student's going to guess correctly. And you can probably guess the probability of guessing wrong is equal to 3/4. If the student is simply guessing and there's 4 questions, they have a 25% chance of getting it right, 75% chance of getting it wrong. Well, remember, if we guess right, the student gains 4 points. But if they guess wrong, they lose 2 points. So now we have to kind of make a jump here and say, okay, let's say the test only has 4 problems. If test has 4 problems, what happens? If the test only has 4 problems, and we use the probabilities that we've already determined, we know how many problems the student's going to get right and wrong. Let's see, if there are 4 problems, and the probability of getting a problem right is 1/4, we can multiply those 2 together, and we can determine that the student's going to get 1 right answer. Likewise, there are 4 problems. How many is the student going to get wrong? Well, we can use that probability, multiply 4 times 3/4, and the student is going to get 3 wrong answers. So for every 4 problems on the test, if the student is just guessing, he's going to get 1 right and 3 wrong. What does this mean in terms of his score? Well, we have point values. Let's see. 1 right answer times 4 points plus 3 wrong answers times -2 points. This is what his score is going to be. And what does that give the student? This is equal to 4 points, and this is equal to -6 points. The student ends up with a -2 for a score. Does it make sense for a student to guess on this sort of exam if they have absolutely no idea? No, it doesn't, because the probabilities show that you will be losing points. That begs the question, though, what if the student has a pretty good idea what the right answer is? What if the student could narrow it down to knowing that it's one of two answers? Then does the student guess? I'll leave that one for you to think about.